Hi, Tom, and thank you for joining me here for this demo about sketching city elements. So, are they saying like what are city elements? And first and foremost, I'm an urban sketcher, so I like sketching on location, especially city scenes. I like old buildings, I like new buildings, but most of all, I like buildings with characters because they're nicely done and it can have a good vibe whenever you're sketching city scenes. So the thing that we're going to sketch today is is a scene from here in because I'm in Toronto, so I have a scene in one of the famous corners of BC downtown Toronto, and as you can see, I have here elements of the city. But most of the time, I'm doing demos for sketching buildings. Now we're sketching, aside from buildings, I'm going to add some people or some cars or this lamppost or this traffic light, because these are essential parts of an urban sketch. And most of the time, when it's too busy, we don't know where to start. So I'm going to show you how I approach a busy scene like this, and it hopefully it will help you overcome your fear of sketching urban scenes. So I think we should get started. I Pamela, did you? Oh, okay. I saw you. You already posted the reference photo. So here it is. Um, Usually when I'm doing a demo, um, I prefer having it in black and white. Why? Because you can see the values. You can see the values where it's dark and where it's light on a black and white photo. And I hope you downloaded the reference photo, because I would love to see your work. And hopefully you can tag me on it on social media so I can see your wonderful work. It's always fun to have someone sketching with you when you're doing a demo. So okay, let's get started. As Pamela mentioned, I'm using Derwent Inktense. So it is a watercolor, and what I like about Derwent is it dries quickly. If you're on location, it dries faster than watercolor, and you can layer the colors on the Inktense, and just like what the name implies, it's very intense when you add it. So the saturation and the color intensity, it goes a long way when you're using it. So this is an Inktense paper. So it has texture, pretty much like a cold press, and it's 300 GSM, 140 pounds, and this is a 9 inch by 12 or 229 by 305 millimeter if you're in the UK or in Europe. Um, okay, so what do I do when I start doing a sketch? When I look at this, where do I start? So most of the time, I would like to block in. I would like to block in and check out what is my focal point. So for me here, my focal point would be the people crossing on this in this intersection. So those are the things that I would like to add on first. So how do I do that? Um, I don't know about you, but I usually when I'm urban sketching, I hardly use pencil. I go directly with pen. So I'm going to start with pen. And most of the time, I would try to plot it onto my paper. So when I'm looking at when I'm looking at my paper, I would try to use my finger to place the elements in here so I can have a gauge on where to put it. And as you can see in the picture, We have foreground and we have background. And this will be my focal point. So for me to have a gauge as a scale, since this is my foreground, I would sketch a car. Oh my God, it's so hard to sketch a car. It's just a box. Believe me, it's easy. So when you're sketching this on location, it's moving. How can I sketch a car? It's moving. Believe me, when the stoplight stops there, you can just mark it on your paper. It doesn't have to be a car. It can be a truck. It can be any vehicle. As long as you put in a mark on where the car stopped. So you saw this. This is a stoplight. So definitely a car will stop right there. And that's an opportunity for you to put in the car. So how do you start? When you're sketching a car, you would see that it's it's pretty much like a big blob of shape with two round shapes. So how do you add that onto your paper? You transform it there and you you check how you would plot it so that it's not too low, it's not too high, and to give you more space. So you would put some dots. This is just for you to have a gauge. I know it's not too visible, but okay, there. Okay, just some dots, just some dots, because we are trying to recreate this. Okay, so that's how you add the car. Let me know if you have questions. Okay, so that's good enough. And then how quick was that? Like 1 minute, 2 minutes? How long does a stoplight last? Like 3 minutes? It depends, right? 2 minutes, maybe. So it depends on how many cars are passing. So with simple gestures, you can already capture the car. It doesn't have to be perfect immediately, as long as you get the scale. So once you have an element, so this is your first element because it's your foreground, now you can start sketching the people. How do you do that? Oh, they are crossing the street. I don't know how to do that because people are moving. It's so hard to capture them. You could with the mow method. Mow, what do I mean by mow? Mow, mow. Isn't that the person? Mow method. It's easy. Practice. Isn't that a person? How quick was that? So when you're urban sketching, you have to be quick. Mow, mow it, mow, mow, mow. I think that will be in your head for quite some time. So now let's try it. So when you're sketching people, I see these two people right there. So most likely they'll be here. Let's do the mow. Okay, let's do another mow because you don't travel alone. You have to have people with you. Okay, so that's it. So that's that. And when this car is right here, you can have more people closer to the sidewalk. Just do the mow. I'm not even looking at the reference photo. I'm just mowing. Okay? So that's that, and that's that. And you have elements by now. So someone is taller. So still do the mow. If, for example, this person is talking to another person, so you can do a variation of your people. So just add, and if there are more, you can even overlap. Because you know when you're sketching on location, nothing is perfect. And don't think of perfection when you're urban sketching, because you're just sketching on your sketchbook. So that's that. And if you have other people on the background, you can add it on later. Now, so we have captured this. We have captured this. And now you want to add this light post. This light post and the traffic sign. Traffic light, I mean. So with that, as you can measure here, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 humans height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Capture it there, there. Oh, I don't know how to do a straight line. Make it easy. Don't make a straight line. So how you do that? If you look at lampposts, they have intervals here. That's when you put your stop as well. So if you have here, there. So shapes, just look at basic shapes, okay? And there's a lamp here. Okay, we're almost done. We just need the color. There. So that's about it. And once you've captured this, for the buildings, now we can start painting. Any questions? Do we have any questions?
There is a question, how you're starting today. Is this how you would start on site?
It depends. For fast moving things like this intersection, I would do it this way. Because at least if I have a car, that would be my gauge for my scale. But if it's a static building, I can have the whole day. I don't even need to bother with making quick sketches or whatever. But of course, it also depends on the time of day. If you want to capture the shadows of a building, you also have to be quick. So that's a different lesson. So for this one, this is just city element, and you want to be quick with your sketching, you do this technique. It will help you a lot, because if you have one element as a scale, that will capture one essence of the scene, and then you can add the rest later on. And as usual, you can cheat. You can cheat with the people, because if one crosses and, oh my God, the lady left and I was not able to capture it, another lady will pass, or another guy. Or you can even do a Frankenstein thingy. One head is different from the body of the one you're sketching, as long as you have the scale. Because it will become believable if you have people in your drawing and other elements in your whole scene. And that's a nice question, though.
Excellent, thank you. And can we have a quick little close-up of the drawing before we get into the painting?
You want to see the moles?
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
see those.
There are the moles. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Okay. So, before we paint, I remembered we need to finish the car. Okay. So, since we have a reference photo, let us capture this car and finish it. Okay. So, when I'm sketching a car, guys love sketching cars. I'm not a guy, but I like sketching cars, although it's not refined. But I like sketching cars because it's fun and it adds life to your sketch. Okay, so there. Who else loves to sketch cars? Me too. Yes, it's lovely to sketch cars. Don't forget, there are four wheels in a car. There. That's about it. I also like to sketch rusty cars, rusty trucks, and rusty agricultural equipment. I don't know. they they are fun to sketch because they have lots of characters. There you go. Okay. So I'm still deciding if I want to add the other car, but we can do that later on. Okay. So now we have this car and we can start painting. All right. So here we go. When I'm sketching building, no, for this scene, uh, I would sometimes paint directly um without drawing. I would paint directly with watercolors, and this time with Inktense. And as you can see on the, all right, okay, I will just show this for a bit because this is a reference photo in color. Okay. So mostly it's blue, and it's good that Intense has a nice set of blues, and most of the time I will just paint directly. I hope you can see that in the reference photo when you downloaded it. So what I'll do here, because we have this huge block and we have this, and it will block all of these people on the sidewalk. So what I will do is do negative painting. That will make your urban sketching faster, and you will cover of um a lot of the parts of the drawing without really trying. So this is how I do it. Okay. So for this one, it's this. Oh, Derwent has a flat brush. Do you have this available at Opus, Pamela? I'm not sure.
We have the water brushes that are found in the sets available at
Oh,
Opus.
okay. That's also good. You can use that. So for you to cover a huge space like this one, you can use that brush, the smaller one, and paint on the side. So for me, since I have a flat brush, this is what I use. Okay. So you have that, and for this one, for this building, this is an interesting building because it's quite a background, but you would like to capture these levels of the building. So before you go into that, since you already have a blue mark here, I would use another color, mostly the grayish one here. This one, the greenish grayish one here, and that will be right on this side. It's nice if you're playing with your brush. You already have texture with no much effort. You can experiment with your sets, the sets that you have, and yeah. I just noticed there are two small traffic light there. You can add. That is just a mark because the paper is already wet. And okay, that's about it. And while that is getting dry, we can start adding some shadows. Yay! That's that. And since that's already your pedestrian lane, without without drawing anything, you just mark the pedestrian lane with your brush. Okay. So there's another um lamp post here. Or I think it's a sign signpost. Yeah. So you can add them this side. So if you would notice, I don't draw first, I don't paint first. I do them intermittently depending on what captures my eye. So nothing is nothing is fixed. Everything is mobile, everything is moving because the world is moving, everything is busy. So you just have to be fast wherever you are. Okay, that's about it. And then there's another. So if you would notice, this is not true to the picture because I don't need to be true to the picture. This is how you interpret it. And if it's true to the picture, you can just capture it and then that's it. You don't need to sketch it anymore. So you just have to capture whatever you think was best. What captures your interest during that time, and it will be good. Because when you're urban sketching, you're keeping the memories. You want to capture what you saw on the scene. So those are the advantages when you have your watercolor beforehand. It's easier for you to add details after. Okay. All right. So we can add some trees now. For this set that I got, there are three greens that I like using and mixing. Um I don't use them on its own. Normally, I would mix them with more blues or more browns. It depends on how I would adapt it to the scene. But this set has nice light green, um, a dark green, and more of an emerald green. It's a teal actually, so that's also good for painting water, which is nice. And you'll just add a little bit of that and the bright blue, this blue here. So we have some trees on the scene. Um, I usually just use. uh, So far, I've used only one brush. I don't need anything else.
And Isabel, there's a question that's popped up here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa's wondering, how do you choose which details to add? Is it just what is interesting, or are you thinking of the composition?
Oh, it's both. Because you would like to add an interesting scene to your composition. So when you have a focal point, you you need to know what you will emphasize on, what would be most interesting to your audience. Because when you're painting, you're not just painting for yourself, you're also thinking of how your audience will see it. And as an urban sketcher, you would always like to have a story to your sketch. So what is the story of your sketch? What are you trying to say? So it's both. When I'm looking and I'm trying to capture something on paper, what is it telling me? What memories would I like to have while I sketched it? So that's pretty much when I'm sketching, i'm I'm checking out what elements I should add, because it pretty much adds to the competition composition. Okay, so that's it. While that is trying to get dry, we'll try to add some more people here.
And then we have another question. Stevens,
Mhm.
when you're in the field, how do you hold your paper and materials as you urban sketch?
I have a board. You can get a clipboard, or I didn't bring it here with me. But sometimes I have a corrugated plastic board that I bring with me, or uh, you can get one of these. It's a cheap material you get from IKEA, and it can hold up a lot of stuff. There you go. And when you have a small stool with you, you can put this on your lap and you can sketch. You can sketch on top of it because it would pretty much fit your paper. I hope a lot of people here would try to become members of Urban Sketchers because we pretty much have more than 350 chapters around the world, and there's an active one in Vancouver. There are more here. There's also an active group here in Toronto, or several in BC, I think. So um, you can check out Urban Sketchers on the website and try to join, and you can gain more experience as an artist, as an urban sketcher. Okay, so this is dry. Now I will try. Let's do this. I try to have two blues with me because it's boring to have just one blue on your when you're sketching, when you're painting. You need some variety, and so this is it. See, with the flat brush, you can actually add the floors and add some angles to the building with no effort. You have any more questions?
There is some curiosity at some point when you have time on how
Mm-hmm.
to draw a Mo sitting down.
A mouse sitting down? Oh,
A
that would be
Mo
weird.
sitting down.
We can try that. I'm not putting much attention on the side of on this side because it's based on the picture. This is just a billboard, and it you really don't need to put much attention onto that. Lesser details on this side, more details on here on the center. Yeah, I would add another car. But wait, let's have a Mo sitting down. It's not going to be a Mo, it's going to be a mom. Because its its knees are there and it's like sitting on the sidewalk. So that's your M, and that's your hat here. Maybe it's a homeless begging on the street. There you go. So, since I'm adding another car here, just make sure you align it with the previous car you sketched, because just to have some proportions. Okay, that's it. And okay, adding more details. Okay, maybe we can now add more colors on the people. Because most of the things here are in blue. Uh, I would add some. I would add some colors for people, mostly their faces.
And Isabel,
Yes.
there's a question here about color.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia's wondering how you choose the colors you use in the scene. Do you choose the real colors or compose the colors according to your interests?
Um, Normally I don't follow the colors unless um, because most of the time the colors you see on scene is not what you have on your palette, and it will take more time for you to mix it up unless it's really something very interesting, and that's the composition of the building. But mm, even if it's the main point of the building, if the color is the main point of the building, usually I would use my own colors, and it will give more interest if you have your own colors, because you do whatever you have with you, and um and it also depends on how you'll put it on paper, because you want something light to go with something dark to give contrast to it. And it it also depends on how you perceive it during that time, because shadows will play a great part when you're sketching a building or sketching people, or sketching whatever clothes the people have. So I'm not doing any fashion sketching. So for people, I like it more lively. So if everyone is wearing something dark, I would like to add more colors onto my sketch. I hope that answers the question.
Very interesting. Thank you.
I'm mostly adding just the faces, colors of the faces. So because the people here on the sketch are too small, you you really don't have a lot of time to add details when you're doing this. So let us get that drying first, and then add some of the other elements. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so do we have any urban sketcher here with us?
I think we definitely have a few in the crowd today, Isabel.
That's nice. Okay. Oh, for this car, um, I would like to put an underpainting, and usually it shows reflections of the buildings around. So I know the vehicle is a dark colored one, but I like to I like to add some underpainting. And since I've already added some red there, I would already add some of the paint onto the crowd. Yeah. So now we're just doing assorted types of colors for the people on the street. So it's hard to be truthful to what you would see on scene because they have already passed before before you get to your sketch. So another another person will be walking by, and definitely this person will be wearing something different. Or you know what? Another trick is just um just draw and then paint to your heart's content after. When you get home, that's when you can start painting. At least you already captured the scene. Okay, so that's it. And then we have this here. Oh, by the way, this is a very nice dark green from the Intense line, and it's called Racing Green. It really has this nice dark color.
And Isabel,
Mm-hmm.
Folks are noticing that you're just going from one color to the other, and you don't seem to be cleaning the tip. Would you mind
Nope.
commenting on this?
Nope. Especially if it's just for green, I don't. You know why? Because sometimes you can find interesting colors, especially if it's just green. And why would I clean it when I want it actually mixed with another green? But I take note that all my lighter colors, I start with my lighter colors. Or if I have my dark ones, and then I will rinse it off just to add the dark. But I really don't mind mixing it without cleaning, just like as you can see now. Because look, it's an interesting color by its own. However, if I'm switching to, for example, a green to a red or a yellow, of course I have to clean it, especially with yellows. Don't be too clean. Sometimes it's nice you can find interesting colors. I used to do that when I just started out. Oh, I'm always cleaning. I'm always rinsing off everything, and it looks too plain. It's so boring. So what I do now, I just leave it be. And what's nice, because I'm pretty much just using these colors, use the same color on the same division of your palette, because most of the time you will be using the same thing over and over again. I'm not using red for this one, but if I do, I would rinse off one section and then I will just put red on that one. So no need for rinsing because you're using the same color on each portion over and over again. In a way, it's painting by intuition. Do whatever you please if it makes you happy, and it will show in your sketch. If you're happy, it will show in your sketch. Okay, do that. Let's add shadows to these people. Where's my purple? This plum is nice to have as a shadow. Okay. trying to finish up some of the elements of the building. Since you added shadows here, might as well also add some shadows onto this curve of the building. You know, when you're sketching, when you're urban sketching especially, you have to loosen up and just enjoy. No questions?
Well, everyone's enthralled with the process.
I would like to have for people to ask some questions. It would be nice.
And Tom's been handling so many of the material questions in the chat. Thank you, Tom. Amazing.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
So you mentioned liking to sketch cars and rusty tractors and whatnot. Is there
Mhm.
any other subjects that that you gravitate towards?
Um, it's mostly built bridges. I also love sketching bridges. Because a lot of bridges, they have interesting patterns and arch, and you know how they would meet from one end to the other. It's However, it sometimes it's challenging because most of the bridges would be in a busy intersection, or it would be hard to really sit down and look for a place to sketch it. But if I'll be given a chance to sketch bridges, I love sketching bridges. How about you, Pamela? What are the interesting subjects you would love to sketch or draw or paint?
Yeah, I love the organic shapes of nature. I feel like I can really kind of let loose and
Mm-hmm.
it feels very organic for me to paint.
Oh, so you're more of a painter. Like you like nature, like
I like, yeah,
landscape.
yeah, I like to paint on site, but now that I know about Mo, I might just head out into the city here and start sketching people.
Yes, it is. It is nice when you're in a cafe or waiting in line. Because urban sketchers, we sometimes have this um 100 people sketching challenge, and you will paint 100 people in 5 days. So um it is quite interesting, and it's a really good challenge to up your game in people sketching, because let's face it, it's hard to sketch people, um especially those. I admire people who do portraits, because definitely I'm not good at that, I have to admit. But I love how they would capture, the similarity, or sometimes it is like true to scale. Like when you sketch people, the features of the person, it's quite challenging, because people will complain that doesn't look like me. Whereas building, I don't care. They will not complain. So it's not as intriguing as sketching people. But I do admire people who makes who does beautiful portraits, because for me that's a challenge. And I could try people in my sketching, but people, it's just like that, like a mole people, not much.
Yeah, but you add good color, there's dynamic movement in
Hmm.
painting because of them, and it's fast. You can get the idea down quickly. I love this Mo approach. And
Yes,
there's everyone else in the chat here has been really excited about it too.
the mole. Whenever I'm doing my classes, I like to simplify things, and if it could help people retain something in their memory while they're sketching, it will lessen the stress, the fear, and they won't be as overwhelmed. Because if they have something to cling on to, if I sketch with people, I can just use the Mo technique. you know if I'm sketching a car, I will just use the box technique, or just using the shape, just something to help people. And it's fun, and it keeps in your memory, and then you just have to practice. You just have to practice doing it.
Great advice, Isabel.
Mm. Well, thank you.
And with your paintings, do you frame them? Do you spray them with varnish? What do you do with your final pieces?
um Most of my sketches are in a sketchbook, because I love most of my sketches are travel sketches, and it is my album. So whenever I want to, when you're feeling down, like, oh, maybe I would like to see what I did in Calgary, or in Europe, when I was in Europe. So let me just browse into it, and then it will bring back, the nice memories while you were in travel, while you're enjoying yourself traveling. So those are the things that I would like to keep. So I like looking at my sketchbooks, and I treasure them. I do have some loose sketches with me, but I haven't framed them, and I don't have a space. I don't have much space in the house to frame them. And but it's just there. But I love looking at my sketchbooks. And if for example I'm teaching, and I'm teaching elsewhere, it's easier to bring my sketchbook and show them to my students than bring a whole bunch of framed items. So normally I don't sell my sketches, but sometimes I would get some commissions, asking if they could buy my sketches, because I'm not a professional artist. I just do urban sketching for fun, for relaxation, as a hobby. I do urban sketching as a hobby. So I am not really compelled to, because like professional painters, they are compelled to, oh, I need to make something to sell in the gallery. No, I don't care if I sell or not. I don't. And most of the time, if I'm commissioned, I get stressed. You know why? Because it's not, there's no fun in there because it's like work. If I get a commission to do a sketch, it doesn't come out as nicely as when I'm enjoying them sketching on location. Because yeah, that's just how I feel when it comes to urban sketching. I don't know, do we most likely we have professional artists who who are here, who are selling for their art. Let me know what you think of the difference between just painting for yourself and painting as a commission.
I love how painting is lifestyle for you.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. And then there is a question here that popped up. Where did it go?
Hmm.
Check. Linda's wondering, will you add anything to show the reflections of buildings in the car?
In the car. Well, let's finish the car first. Okay, this is the car. Now I have to look for the real reference photo. Normally, when I when I paint like paint a car or any vehicle for that matter, it's just gestural. I don't really paint it as when you when you feature the car as the main focal point of your sketch. But I know people who really sketch just for the sake of sketching cars, and I don't do that because I like sketching cars, but I don't have the patience to put all the details of the car. That's why I added um some base painting on this car so the blue would shine a bit, just like that, making the bottom portion darker because you have your shadow there. It's a matter of layering when you're adding some you can add some glaze onto your paint and some reflection as well. Mm, okay, let us let this dry first, then we'll add more layers to it. I don't want to touch the blue because still a little bit wet. Let's add more paints to the people. Okay. Mm, there's some signs here, and there's a McDonald's sign here. Do I like to add McDonald's? I'm not yet sure. If I want to add McDonald's, maybe not.
And when starting today, you applied the paint to dry paper. Is there ever a time where you wet the paper first and then work wet on wet?
For urban sketching, no, because that will take a lot of time to dry, and I could do that when I'm working on a painting in the studio, but not on location. Because on location, you want everything to be done quickly. Okay, I'm not even thinking what to do here. If you have a round brush and you want to capture or sketch with a bigger shape, just use the side of your brush. This plum color is so nice to use as a shadow. Play with it.
And there's a comment here from Kay. They've written, Isabel, you mentioned bringing a stool for your urban sketching. Is there one
Mm-hmm.
that works well? They've been searching for a canvas fold-up one, but they're finding a chair hard to find.
Oh, it's really it depends. It depends on how much weight you can carry with you in your bag. The lighter, the better. I see a lot of good. Go to a camping store. That's where you can get the lightest one. It also depends, would you like something to rest your back, or you're good just to have a three-legged stool that you would like to bring with you because it's easy, it folds quickly, it fits nicely in your bag. It really depends, and it also depends on your budget. I noticed a lot of the camping stool, they are nice, they are light, but they're so expensive. So it really depends. Sometimes you can get as cheaply as like $15 from the Dollarama. No, not the Dollarama. Canadian crappy tire, Canadian Canadian tire, or you can get some at Mac. But yeah, it really depends. Still also on the hunt to look for a nice seat, or you can check online. Sometimes they have some good ones at what's this? Amazon. Sometimes they have some good ones at Amazon.
And when searching for good sketchbooks or paper, is
Mhm.
there characteristics that you would advise looking for in a sketch
Um,
paper?
in a sketchbook, I I will just this is my preference. Okay, so each sketcher is different. Some would prefer cold press, some hot press. The size I would prefer is an A4 size sketchbook, and because you have more mileage when it comes to sketching, this size is also nice because you can go landscape, you can go portrait with ease. Um, if if you like something smaller, five an A5 is also good to have. Especially for ladies, you can easily fit it in your purse. For guys, even A6, they would prefer that because they would put them in um in their in their pockets. So it really depends on what type of sketcher you are. Because for me personally, I would prefer cold pressed paper like this because I like the texture. Some who uses a lot of pencil, they prefer hot press paper, which is nice and smooth. I like it a little bit of I like a little bit of texture when I'm sketching. So because it adds to the the type of sketching style that I do. So that's those are my preference.
And there's a little bit of curiosity about the car on the left. Will you be filling it in with color?
Maybe not. It's not necessary. I just added it there because I added a sitting mow here. So I don't really need to add anything on it. You don't
So,
need to fill everything in
so
on your
it's
sketch.
fine balance of undone and done.
Oh
It-
yeah, I especially on a sketchbook, 'cause this is like a demonstration paper. But on a sketchbook, I have lots of white spaces because first I don't have the time to finish it, and next because those are the spaces where you can put your writings, your text, your the memories you had. So those white spaces are good to put your story, your own story. And people who would be reading your sketchbook, they would also like to read some of your stories, and you need space for that. Or if you have letterings, you can also put letterings on the side.
Interesting. I like hearing about that.
Hmm. Personal touch. We're almost done here. Oh, let's finish the car.
And Joy's curious about the black dots above the car.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Uh,
what are those?
yeah.
What are those? Those are the sign of young. Because it's um. Let's make it darker. I need to make it darker because I'm going to write something on there. Hope it dries on time.
I'm going to read out this comment because it's so sweet. Barb's written, Isabel, I feel quite a bit braver after this. Thanks.
That is so sweet. That's what I would like to hear.
Yeah, perfect.
Hmm. Yep. Because as an urban sketching instructor, I like I like my student to be more confident and learn something of what I've taught them. So uh, that's really nice to hear that people will be acting on that. Okay, I'm brave enough. I can do this. Okay, almost done. Come on, dry quickly. Okay. Since you asked, what is this dots on top? It, this is a Derwent white pencil. Use that for my line lettering. I like using this you know, just to show some of the letters here compared to using a gel pen. Gel pen is also good. It depends on how you would apply it. But for this instance, this is just right because it's not imposing and it's not too white on your face. So it can add sign, but not too white. It's uh, it's a subtle white, if you may say. You can still read it, but it's not too bright. Okay. I think that's about it. We're almost done. But I think I'm done.
Yeah, it's really come together here. There is
Mhm.
we do have one more request here.
Mhm.
Just because we've had guests arrive at different times throughout today's demo, and uh, would you kindly go over Mo for all of us
Oh no,
one more time?
I'm glad.
One little demo of the
One
Mo.
little demo. Let's put Mo here.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's put
So
Mo there.
let's put a Mo. Let's put a Mo. When you draw a person, like let's put a sidewalk here. So Mo is not flying. Okay. When you add people, remember the Mo. So MOW. Those that add your arm, and that's your Mo. Let's do it again. Let's have Mo. Give Mo a partner. Mo. maybe this person is a woman. Mo.
And could you hold that up close to the camera for all of us?
There you go.
There you go, folks.
Mo and mom.
Yeah, yeah. And can we also have a close-up of the rest, like of the full painting? Wow,
There.
no.
There's a shadow. Hang on. There. Yeah. So that's your city element. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. Okay. So, when you're in Toronto, we have lots of cables. We have cable cars and we have street cars. We have lots of elements in the street. Let me get a finer tip pen. So, like there are lots of wires, and you have some wires hanging, lots of wires hanging, and this adds interest to your city sketch. Because especially if you're in a busy intersection where streetcars are crossing, there's lots of wires hanging around, and I know some artists actually would add all of these wires onto their sketch. So when you're in Toronto or in a I can't remember busy intersection with lots of cable wires in Vancouver when I was living there. I can't remember. So add add some of these wires onto your sketches because they add interest for sure. And don't make it too straight because most of the lines they are hanging, they are suspended, and they blow in the wind sometimes. So there's no straight line, and it's a good way to practice. So there you go, folks. We're done.
Amazing. It's been so
Yeah.
much fun being here with you, Isabel. You've you've brought us such a great perspective on how to approach urban sketching in a way that's approachable. So grateful to have you here with us.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I hope you learned something today.
And I just want to also thank Tom. Tom, you've been amazing in the chat. We really appreciate being here and sharing all the information about the Derwent materials. And everyone, it's always a pleasure. I love being part of this community with all of you, and I hope to see you again sometime in the future, or maybe somewhere out there in the city, urban sketching.
Bye, everyone. Thanks,
Goodbye.
Pamela. Thanks, Tom. Bye bye. See you again.